I never thought I'd be that woman. Kind of woman you see in those cheating wife gets caught stories on Reddit or YouTube. The one the internet tears apart in the comments section. But here I am. My husband, Matt, and I have been married for 6 years. I met him in college when we were both working part-time at the campus library. He was the kind of guy who had his life together before most 20-year-olds even figured out how to do laundry. Responsible, grounded, always knew where he was headed. I loved that about him at first, but over time I started craving something else, something exciting, unpredictable. I started feeling like our life had turned into a predictable routine. Wake up, go to work, dinner, Netflix, bed. Rinse and repeat. Enter Brandon. Brandon was a new hire at my marketing firm. He was charming in that cocky, bad boy way. He had tattoos, drove a motorcycle, and never seemed to take anything seriously. He flirted with me from day one, and I won't lie. I loved the attention. At first I told myself it was harmless. A little banter to spice up the workday. But harmless flirting turned into texting. Texting turned into late-night calls. And before long, I crossed the line I swore I never would. The thing about cheating is it changes you. You start looking for cracks in your spouse's armor. Testing how much you can get away with. Seeing if they'll notice. Matt never asked where I was going when I said I was meeting the girls. He never questioned my sudden interest in going to the gym at 8 p.m. He never checked my phone. In my head, this meant he was clueless. What I didn't know then was that Matt wasn't clueless. He was collecting ammunition. About 3 months into their affair, I noticed Matt started acting different. Not distant exactly. More like calm. Too calm. He'd smile at me like he knew something I didn't. Sometimes I'd catch him looking at me for just a second too long, like he was sizing me up. But I brushed it off. One Friday night, I came home from drinks with a friend and found him sitting at the kitchen table with 2 glasses of wine poured. "Big weekend," he said casually. "You should come to my work gala with me tomorrow night. It's at the downtown hotel." Now, normally I hated going to his work events. They were full of accountants, lawyers, and business people who made small talk about market trends and golf. But part of me thought this was good. A way to reconnect, maybe distract him from, well, the truth. So I agreed. The next night, we got dressed up. I wore a black cocktail dress. He wore a charcoal suit. We looked like one of those perfect couples in a wedding catalog. The hotel ballroom was massive. Chandeliers, white tablecloths, waiters with trays of champagne. I recognized a few of Matt's coworkers from photos he'd shown me. We mingled, took pictures, and eventually sat down for the dinner portion of the evening. Halfway through the main course, Matt tapped his glass with a fork. The sound cut through the chatter in the room. Heads turned. The microphone stand at the front of the stage suddenly seemed a lot closer than before. "I'd like to say a few words," he said, smiling. "Now here's the thing. Matt isn't a speech guy. He's more of a quiet, get-it-done type." But he walked up there with this confident stride, adjusted the mic, and started talking about how grateful he was for the people in his life. His coworkers, his family, and then me. "My wife," he said, looking right at me. "The woman I thought I knew better than anyone. The person I trusted the most." I felt my stomach drop. A few people glanced at me, probably sensing something was off. Matt continued, his voice steady. "You know, trust is funny. You think you have it, until one day you find out someone's been sharing themselves with another person." A nervous laugh rippled through the crowd. My face went hot. I prayed he was speaking metaphorically, but deep down I knew exactly where this was going. Matt reached into his suit pocket and pulled out a small stack of papers. Even from my seat I recognized them. Screenshots. He held them up for the crowd. "These," he said, "are text messages between my wife and a man named Brendan. A man she works with. Explicit messages. Hotel meetups. Pictures I didn't ask to see, but received anyway when I started looking into why my wife's late nights were getting later." The room was silent. You could have heard a fork drop. I wanted to sink into the floor. My mouth went dry. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't angry. He was composed, which somehow made it worse. "I've spent the last 2 months gathering proof," he went on. "Not because I wanted to, but because in our state, infidelity changes how divorce works. And I wanted to make sure I didn't just lose a wife. I made sure I didn't lose my house, my savings, or my future." That's when it hit me. This wasn't just about calling me out. This was a strategic takedown. I have already filed for divorce, he said matter-of-factly. My lawyer has all of this. She will be served on Monday morning. And for the record, Brandon, I emailed this packet to your boss. I thought your own department should know how you've been spending your work hours. A few gasps. Some people whispered. Brandon wasn't there, but I knew on Monday my office would be a war zone. Matt stepped down from the stage, handed the mic back, and walked right past me without a glance. People avoided my eyes as I sat frozen, humiliated in a room full of his colleagues. After a few painfully long minutes, I stood up and left. I could feel every set of eyes on my back as I walked out. That night, I stayed at a friend's place. My phone was blowing up. Texts from Brandon, from coworkers, even from my mom, who apparently had already heard through the grapevine. Monday morning, I went into work to face the music. Brandon had been let go before I even arrived. And Hart called me in and said my behavior had violated company policy and they'd be reviewing my employment. I didn't wait to be fired. I quit on the spot. The divorce moved fast. Matt had every scrap of evidence he needed, and because of state laws, I walked away with nothing. He kept the house, the savings, even the car we bought together. Last I heard, he's dating someone new. Someone who, according to social media, goes hiking with him, attends his work events, and looks at him the way I used to before I ruined everything. And me, I'm living in a small one-bedroom apartment, working at a different firm where no one knows my past yet. I thought I was too smart to get caught. Turns out, I was just giving Matt the time and space to set up the perfect revenge, and deliver it in front of 100 witnesses.